like a small boat on the ocean, sending big waves into motion.
Hello and welcome to Runs with Ringo. Today's a pretty cool day for me. Anyway, it is my 36th birthday. So yeah, I said it. I'm 36, and it's a blessing to me, man. It's a blessing to see another year. And the name of this vlog is going to be Thank You. And the reason it's Thank You is because I just have to thank God for just everything, man, everything in my life. For Ringo, for my family, for my friends, for just the many blessings that He has just dropped out of the sky for me. And I'm just forever grateful. I can't thank Him enough. But one thing I wanted to do today was to just tell a little bit of a story, or my story anyway, of kind of the past 2 years of my life, and how like my life has just been completely transformed. And it started 2 years ago on March 21st, actually 2 years ago yesterday. I decided to open up the cafe. I decided that I was going to take a leap of faith, and that I was going to open up a cafe called Canteen. And many of you that probably are watching this probably have either been there or heard about it, but that was 2 years ago yesterday. Not that we opened, but that I decided, I saw the spot, and in my mind I said, this is what I'm going to do. With that being said, 2 years ago, with that decision, everything in my life changed. So I mean everything. It was a great thing, and I was excited, and it was my dream. So it was like, man, follow your dream, follow your heart, that sort of thing. And it was great, but at the same time, there were some changes that had to be made, man, and in me anyway. And during this time, the past 2 years, God found me. And I know it's going to sound kind of weird, and I don't care, because I got to tell this story because it can help somebody, man. And God found me. He came and He found me, and He led me anyway to Him. And He basically just said to me, everything was seemingly great at the time that He found me. Like, everything was seemingly good. I mean, it was good, but it was still, you ever have a life or something, and things are good, but something's missing. You're always still searching for something. And that was kind of me. Like, everything was seemingly good. So when He found me, I'm like, nah, God, I'm good. Like, what do you mean? And He was like, no, like, I have plans for your life. I have plans, some things for you to do. And in order for those things to happen, I need for you to be who I really called you to be. And He basically let me know that I didn't know who I was. And more importantly, I didn't know who God was. Like, my vision or my perception, my understanding of God was completely distorted with who He was. I had this idea of God of like Him being, this, He is almighty, don't get me wrong, but this figure up in heaven, sitting there condemning everybody. And, when bad things happen, it's like, man, God, why'd you let this happen, and different things like that. And I just had this distorted view of who God was. And He said to me, like, we need to get some things clear. Like, you and I, we got to become clear. We got to become clear that I love you. We got to become clear that there is nothing you can do to make me love you less, and there's nothing you can do to make me love you more. And I'm going to show you who you are in me, and you're going to be stronger, you're going to be better, you're going to be amazing for it. And that's the life that He wanted for me. See, I was on plan B and C. I thought that I had my life planned out. I thought that I knew everything that I wanted, everything that was ahead of me. I was in control, seemingly. And God said, no, I have a plan A. My plan is best, and I have a plan A for you, and I have to make you the person that you need to be in order to execute that plan A. So He found me, and we started on this journey. And when God comes and finds you and tells you this thing, you're like, plan A, man, yeah, that sounds great. It's going to be a wonderful life. Like, I can't wait. Let's get started, God. And He's like, me and you on this journey. And it was awesome, right? I was excited. I knew God had plans for my life. And then things started to fall apart. Man, my life, when I tell you, every single part of my life was shaken. Every single part. When I say everything, I mean everything. My house, my finances, my job, my relationship, everything in my life was shaken. And when things started to kind of unravel, I was like, all right, God, you said that we were about to start on something that was going to be really, really good for me, and this is plan A. Like, what are you doing? What's happening? And I didn't didn't understand. I didn't understand when things happened and heartache came, and I just didn't understand why seemingly bad things were happening all around me. Simultaneously, I have this business that is growing and people are responding so well to, but struggling even in that. You know, I had struggles with the business. There was times when within the first 2 years of the business that I had, that first year was a struggle, man. Everybody saw like, yeah, it's great, you're following your dreams, you know, you're doing it, you know, you're happy, all these things, but there were struggles in there, like real struggles, like times where like 2 people walk through the door on a freezing Sunday. I'm back there making grilled cheese with half gloves on because it's so cold in the barn, and 2 people walk through the door. But I stayed faithful to it because I just knew in my heart, like, no matter how dark it was, I had this one little light, this one glimmer of hope that I was holding on to, that God said that things were going to be good. And I had to believe that. So even with the struggle with the business, then other things started to struggle, you know, financially, like all things in my life. And I had some really, really tough times, man. I had some times where, you know, things were great. And then other times where I would come home at night, man, and it was just hard for me, man. I would just roll up, like curl up like a baby, man, in a fetal position in my bed with my dog, and just cry myself to sleep because I couldn't see through the darkness. I couldn't see through the pain. I couldn't see through all of these struggles. I'm like, God, why? Why is this happening? Woe is me. Why is this happening to me? All these things are falling apart. You said they were going to be good. And to relate it back to Ringo, this guy was by my side the whole time. I felt alone, but I was never alone. God was always there. He was always there. He had me right in the palm of his hand. Even with my tears, even with my hurt, even with my pain, he held me right in the palm of his hand. And he said, I got you. I got you. I got you. Don't you worry. And sometimes I could feel it. Sometimes I couldn't. I didn't know it was there, but he held me and he kept me through it. And the same thing like this guy, man. There's no greater friend, no greater love. And that's why when I look at Ringo, and I started this vlog because to me, he portrays the love of God. He portrays Jesus as your friend, as your best friend, loyal. They say dogs, it's man's best friend. They're so loyal. And he was just right by my side all the time. He would just lick my tears sometimes, or he would just lay there and just be next to me. Just his presence alone. And that's the same thing. Just the presence of the Lord just brings peace. And same thing with my dog here, man. He just brings peace, and he knows. He always knows when something's wrong. He comes up and just brings that comfort, you know? But the reason I'm telling this story is because everything that I went through, all of those trials, all of those heartaches, I pushed through. And I had God to help me through all of those things. And there was one point where I heard this song, and it's called Fight Song. We're going to play it. We played a little bit at the beginning, and we're going to play a little bit towards the end. And it's amazing because I think, you know, I've heard this a lot, but I really think you should have a theme song for your life. And right now, Fight Song is a theme song for my life because I had to fight through some really tough times. I had to fight through some mental battles of thinking I wasn't good enough, of dealing with rejection, dealing with hurt and pain from my past, and thinking that, you know, because of who I was, because I didn't fit the picture perfect of, you know, what society says I should be, that I was less than. You know, and God said, no, you got this thing all wrong. Let's walk with me, talk with me. Let me teach you. Let me show you who you are in me. Get your validation from me. Get your affirmation from who you are in me. Not any man on this earth, but in me. And that's what I did. And he brought me to a place where I only had him. The car couldn't do it, the house couldn't do it, the job couldn't do it, the relationship couldn't do it. Nothing in this world, the family couldn't even do it. Nothing in this world could fulfill what God needed to fulfill for me in my life and my foundation. So he wanted to build my foundation, not on sinking sand, which all of those things were. And it's not because they were necessarily bad things, it's because they weren't meant to fulfill that role for me. None of those things were meant to fill the holes in my heart. God was meant to fill the holes in my heart. Now that I'm gone from that foundation of sinking sand, he's built my foundation on a solid rock. So when things come, I can't be shaken. Yes, things are going to happen. Heartaches are going to come. Struggles are still going to come in my life. It's a journey. Life is a journey. But I love every single step, and I wouldn't trade anything for who I am and where I am right now. And I have a solid rock, and things will come, but I can't be shaken at this point, you know, or maybe you know, I'm not saying, I don't want you to think like you don't get upset and you don't have struggles, because that's going to happen. But when your life and when your foundation is built on a solid rock, man, you're not going to fall. You'll push through. You will feel like you can't get through, but you will. And some wins are, you know, when you talk about winning, some wins are pretty, but honestly, the best wins are pretty ugly. You know, when you come in, sometimes it's like a race, man. I ran a marathon, and that 26.2 miles, it was no piece of cake. I started out great. First half was awesome. I had friends running with me, and the race was so symbolic of life, because I started out the first half marathon. I had friends with me, and that part was easy. It was great. And then around mile 13.1, you know, the friends finished, and I had to go on for that another 13.1 miles alone. And that's symbolic of God, because he said to me, some things in this life, you got to walk alone. You can't take anybody with you on some parts of your journey. It's just got to be me and you. It's got to be me and God. And the reason being is because, again, my solid foundation has to be found in here, built on him, built on who he made me to be, not on anything else. So when I finished that last 13.1 of the race, man, there were struggles. I struggled, man. I got to Manayunk. I don't know if y'all know what been to Manayunk, but there's some hills there, and those hills, they threatened to break me. They threatened to break my race, and there was times where I wanted to stop. And then I would see a little glimmer of hope. When I was running, I saw this girl had written on the back of her legs, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that was one of the scriptures that I had written on my hand, but she had it written out plain as day in front of me right when I was ready to quit. And that was a little nugget, as I call it, from God, like saying, keep on going, I got you, I got you. And that's how he did with me in this life. He kept throwing me little nuggets. And I finished that race, man. In the last quarter mile, I sprinted, I struggled. I don't know if anybody took any pictures, but if they did, man, I don't want to see them, because I looked terrible. I mean, I had some looks on my face. It was the hardest thing, one of the hardest things physically I ever put my body through. But I crossed that finish line, and that feeling, when I crossed that finish line, there's no greater feeling right at that point. I'm sure there'll be better feelings in life, but for me, man, that was a race that I ran, and I finished it, and it was just like triumph over all of the struggles, all of the trials, and it was very reminiscent of things that I had gone through the past year and a half, almost two years at that point. So the reason I bring that up is just to tell you that I faced every single fear. God took me through, and to this point in my journey, he caused me to face every single fear in my life, and I didn't know what he was doing, but he was transforming me. It was like I was in a cocoon, and once I came out, man, he gave me wings, and now I'm on the other side. And now it's such an amazing thing to know how much God loves me, and that he works every situation for my good. Even ones that I thought were bad, they are all working for your good. And I just want to tell you that now, like, things are happening, you know, things are coming, like the sun is out now, the spring is here, and good things are happening, and you just got to believe. You got to get through the struggle and believe, and know that everything comes to make you stronger. I'm stronger now, I'm wiser now, I have my power back. I took my power back, and now I'm stronger, and I'm on the other side. I heard this pastor talk about, his name's Pastor Trey Roberts. He's got a church out in LA. You should watch him online. It's called One Church International. But anyway, he had a message talking about the other side, and he incorporated Adele's song of Hello from the Other Side into it. And he was just saying, if you could just see yourself on the other side of all the pain, all the struggle, everything that you're going through, if you could see yourself on the other side when you truly start to walk and live out your purpose, you wouldn't give up. And now I'm here, so I'm saying hello from the other side. Life is good. God is good. He took me through this journey. He is my friend. And I know people hear me talk about God all the time and Jesus. And like, people are, you know, people that knew me before, they're scared. They're like, oh, you know, what are you thinking? Like, are you changed? You know, what's up? Like, are you going to condemn me? No, man. Like, I'm better. I'm better than I was. Jesus came into my life, and I love him. And that's why I can't be quiet about it, because everybody needs it. Everybody needs it. You struggle, you have heartaches, you have pains. People don't want to be transparent about it, but God can help you with all of that pain. And it's not church, it's not religion. I had that distorted view. It's not that, man. God will come, and he will be your best friend. He will set you up for everything. So when the relationship, when the marriage, when the kids, when the job, when the house, the cars, when all of that comes to you, you'll be better for it, and you'll have a foundation that won't be shaken, and you'll be able to deal with all the struggles of life. Because guess what? Struggles are still going to come, but you'll be better equipped to deal with them. So I just say hello from the other side. And the reason that this is called Thank You is because I truly truly, truly thank God. I thank God for who he is to me, and I thank him for my family. I thank him for every person that he sent into my life. I thank him for every single one of you, because that's the beauty of this. It's in everyone. It's in all the things that he blesses you with. Not physical, not material, but the hearts and the people and the friendships and all of those things that he blesses you with. That's what this life is truly, truly about. So I shared my story not to glorify me at all, but to let somebody know that if you're going through heartache, if you're going through pain, if you're struggling with anything in your life, man, just know it gets better. Find God, man, and not what people say God is. Find God for yourself. Talk to him as your friend. Let him heal you. Let him use you. Let him become your best friend. Let him take your life and make beauty from ashes. Take the broken pieces and he'll make something beautiful out of it. I promise you that from the very bottom of my heart. So I just want to help somebody who may be going through. That's all this is about. Sharing your story, talking about what you've been through, so that somebody that might be in the same predicament knows, I can make it. I can do it. This quote today, and it just spoke to my heart, and it says that she made broken look beautiful and strong look invincible. She walked with the universe on her shoulders and made it look like a pair of wings. I got my wings, man. Take these broken wings and learn to fly. Stay powerful. Live life on purpose. Live life on purpose. Wake up, be alive, live, breathe, enjoy every single day the sun is shining. Feel it on your face, man. God bless.
My fight song, take back my life song, prove I'm alright song. My power's
Alright, so I gotta give a special birthday shout out to my dad, Frank Ferguson. I share birthday, honored to share birthday with my dad, my superhero, the best man in the world in my eyes. So just happy birthday, Dad. I love you. Thank you for everything that you've ever done for me, your wisdom, your courage, your love. I really appreciate it, and I love you. All right.
I just want to give a shout out to my daughter Carol. She's special in my heart. She's the baby. It's a little bit of a pain, but we all love her. I just want to tell her I'm proud of her for what she's doing, for her accomplishments, and her love for God and her love for God's people. And we so hope she'll have a happy birthday, and that she'll have many more.
And two more things. We're here for lunch at Via de los Burritos in Pittman. If you have not been here, you have to come try this place. The owner's awesome. The food is great. It's in Pittman on Pittman Ave, so stop by here. And also, I have to give a special shout out to Precision Cuts. Lisa over at Precision Cuts, she hooked me up. I don't know if you guys recognize or saw my new cut, but she hooked me up. 36 big changes, man. The best is yet to come. Thanks. Bye.